Hey guys, what's up? A very good morning and welcome to a new daily market outlook. Starting off with the dollar index. The dollar index is currently located inside our demand zone, of course, which we mentioned in last week's video. So at the moment, what I'm waiting for is to seek, okay, can the overall 4-hour swing trend from the high down in towards this low sustain itself, price pushed in towards this area of consolidation, moved in towards the downside, and then we can kind of see that internal trend playing out in towards the downside. So what is the first tail sign that this area of demand is going to hold and price is going to push up higher? Well, that is a break of this fractal high over here. So if the market is able to push up higher, break that fractal high, then I have more confidence that we could potentially start pushing up higher and that this demand zone is actually something valid and strong. Otherwise, let's just wait for a further push in towards, let's say, this extreme area of demand over here on the 4-hour time frame before looking for any potential longs. What would be nice, of course, is maybe then, for example, a close inside here, then that means break of structure, and then, of course, we could start trading up higher. Because after a break of structure, of course, we expect a pullback. But yeah, that's my overall short-term bias for today. Just wait for this high to break, or of course for a close below this low, and then we'll wait for new development, depending on how we get in towards that area of demand. Moving on in towards euro dollar. So euro dollar over here from a daily time frame perspective. Still have not tapped in towards this refined area of supply. However, we have taken out this liquidity high positioned over here. So it took that high out because we can clearly see all the highs trying to take out that high. That's kind of like the last high before tapping in towards this supply zone. Straight away bearish reaction in towards the downside. So what I'm looking for on euro dollar, guys, is a potential short. What I am looking for, or what I am looking at, of course, is overall 4-hour trend is still bullish in towards the highs. Clear uptrend in towards the upside. Broke out of this kind of ascending wedge after liquidating that high over there on the left. Of course, preferably you would tap in towards, let's say, a daily area of supply up above over here. It does not need to happen. But at the moment, we're stalling inside this area of supply. So what I'm looking at is potentially a move in towards the downside, for example, back down in towards the sell for the buy before, for example, pushing up higher. And then from there, after that BOS above that line, then, for example, again, taking the higher probability short like we tried to do over here last week. Because after that BOS, what do you expect? You expect a pullback. Now, ultimately, what you are expecting is, because price is in an uptrend, in towards the highs, you're expecting a new higher high to be formed. So selling from here, of course, is very risky. But of course, you can take short-term sells back down, for example, in towards this demand zone, because from there you expect price to potentially head up higher. Overall, of course, swing structure is still bullish. Internal structure over here is also still bullish. But after this internal break of structure and this fractal break of structure, logically, you would want to kind of like see a deeper push in towards here before then, for example, heading up higher once again. And then the higher probability short will come, where we can at least kind of like sell after a break of structure, because after a break of structure, regardless, you expect a push in towards the downside again. And then you can hold, of course, back in towards discount over here if this is your swing low and this is your swing high. So that is kind of like the game plan you have for euro dollar. Of course, anticipate and react. But overall, this over here is your fractal low. Let's say we break this fractal low, then I will be looking for short back down underneath this low over here. So that is euro dollar for you over there. Moving on into towards Aussie dollar. So I'm going to keep it short today. Aussie dollar is looking very primed for a further downside movement. As you can clearly see, a 1, 2, 3 ascending kind of like channel, then again another ascending channel in towards that third touch. So now we have had the 1, the 2, and then the fake out on the high. So what I'm waiting for the rest of today is for Aussie dollar to potentially take out that low over here, this one of 0.65670. If we take out that low, fractal break of structure, and then look to trade it in towards the downside. That's what I will be looking for, not looking for any longs, due to the fact that we've had a BOS over here, of course, on this 4-hour break of structure line. We don't consider this a pullback. So for me, still a pullback is needed, at least, for example, underneath this line over here. So I do think there's a bigger correction coming for Aussie dollar. When exactly, not sure yet, of course, but how it is looking like, it does look like there's potential for a drop. Of course, however, it does not need to happen. If we do push up higher, then we'll definitely be shorting from this area of daily supply. So I'm providing you guys with the potential short from here. If we do not see that reaction that we want, we don't see that bearish downside movement and any bearish confluences and confirmation at all, then just don't start selling. Don't start selling from here. because we need to see some bearish momentum coming towards the market. So if we get that bearish momentum, we break this low, break the fractal low, then okay, we can start looking for those shorts. If it doesn't happen and we just see price skyrocket further, wait for daily demand or daily supply to get hit, and then we short in towards the downside. So that's AU. Then moving on in towards GBPUSD. So GBPUSD is inside this daily area of supply. So yeah, we have this daily area of supply located over here. So that's why the market is potentially also moving a little bit slower now and correctively in towards the highs here on GBPUSD. Overall, from a daily perspective, pull back in towards the 50% mark of the daily swing range. So it does look like price is ready to start dropping. Now going in towards the 4-hour time frame, what do we see over there? Well, logically, we had a 4-hour BOS, moved in towards this refined 4-hour area of supply in towards daily supply. So we have this 1, 2, 3. Of course, we already had one down below over here as well. Didn't play out as strongly as we would have wanted to see. Of course, we did get that drop after that BOS over here. But yeah, ultimately you would have wanted to see like a deeper correction. But overall, now that we're inside here, what does this mean for the market? Well, it means that we now have a fractal low positioned over here. Once we break that fractal low, I will be looking for a short from supply in towards, of course, first here and then ultimately lower. Because this is now your swing low, this is now your swing high. So I'm going to be targeting at least these lows over here, these liquidity lows. So that is that for GBPUSD. Then moving on in towards NZDUSD. So NZDUSD from a daily time frame perspective has a very clear daily BOS. So I know the chart is looking a little bit messy, but overall we saw a daily break of structure over here. What do you expect after the daily break of structure? You expect a pullback. So let's see if we get that pullback already from here. Otherwise, it could also happen from higher prices. But for that, we need to go in towards the 4-hour. And of course, if the other dollar pairs start correcting, it's likely that NZDUSD will also start correcting. But going in towards the 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that we also had a 4-hour BOS over here. So break of structure. Overall, that means now that this over here is your swing low. So yeah, I mean, NZDUSD, very messy chart, very corrective, kind of ranging at the same time. It's kind of like ranging in towards the highs, what I call it. Again, kind of like this corrective price action in towards the highs. Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to trade the correction, but it's very hard to trade the correction because the overall ranges are so small. So I'll probably just stay out and wait for the market to kind of like create bigger swings in price. So either kind of like see a bigger push up and then we start to trade the correction back down, or what I would do is I would wait for this low to go and the market to shift bearish and then trade below this low again. And then on the daily time frame, you'll be trading back down into what's kind of like refined extreme demand. So yeah, that's NZDUSD. Moving on into towards gold. So gold, guys, yeah, I mean, what can I say? Been calling this for the last week every single day. Gold longs, gold longs, gold longs. Yeah, I mean, daily time frame. Overall, what are we seeing? We're seeing a new kind of like impulse in towards the highs for a new daily break of the structure. So by breaking, yeah, pretty much, of course, the high over here, and we haven't yet seen a daily close, but by breaking the high over here, pushing towards the highs, pull back, pushing towards the highs, we've now, or potentially going to see a break of structure over here on the daily. So what I'm now waiting for is to see that candle closure, then potentially, yeah, again, get into a long and wait for a new all-time high to form on gold. So what do we want to do? Again, guys, it's so simple. I've been saying it every single day. Wait for the sell before the buy. So again, over here, sell before the buy. Boom, market taps in, moves back up. Again, over here, I told you guys on Wednesday, I think Thursday and Friday as well. Tap in towards the sell before the buy, and we start flying in towards the highs. So what would you want to do today? Well, just wait. I mean, overall, again, you can kind of see this sell before the buy. That's where the market taps into and starts skyrocketing in towards the highs. Now just try and see, okay, can the market kind of like push up higher for the rest of today? This becomes your fractal low, this becomes your demand zone, and then just wait for this again for a new entry. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic day. And if you have any questions, make sure to join Discord. Thanks, guys.